Starting. All right, let's try this again. Okay, I think I'm actually now streaming on. Son of a gun, it's working. I think I'm simulcasting on Twitch and YouTube. Crystal, make a little comment.
I'm waiting on it.
See if it's working. And no, it's Stream Element says Billy Hume is now live streaming music comparing. No, this is wrong because it's been like almost a year since I streamed on Twitch, so I forgot to set that up. So ignore that, please. If anyone's watching, doesn't really matter because I'm not going to do this for long because it's just been a rough day. But I think it's actually working, son of a gun. And my goal today actually was just to kind of like talk about low end. I don't know if I'm going to get to that or not. But I think we're working here. Okay, I see you there. Yeah. So anyway, well, let's just check out the music. Let's check out the audio. Let's see if it sounds good. I'm not gonna be able to. That's all right. Just want to make sure it works. Now I know how to do it. Now I know how to do this thing. Now if I could just figure out how to, oh, thanks, Kit. Now if I could figure out how to like do Instagram and TikTok at the same time. So let's see. All right. So what? Oh, hey, Damage Kisses. Was it working on both? Good. Yeah, it's been a hell of a day. I was actually trying to figure out how to stream on Instagram and TikTok at the same time. I think I wasted 2 hours doing that today. It was a nightmare, and I figured I actually couldn't do it. And then I was about to give up on this, and then I figured out because it's kind of actually hard to get the like the URL, the RTMP URL. It's a bunch of technical stuff, and yeah. So, but I want to get back into streaming. This is just kind of a test today to see if this works. So, if it's all coming in clear, let me know. I'm going to play some more music here. Been working on this song right here. Oh, good. It's clear. Awesome. Oh, hold on. I got to play the solo. Actually, B, otherwise known as, well, I can't really say his real name. He's in here somewhere. Where's his guitar part at? I'm trying to mix a song. I got to get this thing done. Oh, let me put on his guitar solo. Oh, here it is. Yeah, it's pretty epic. So we're coming in here. Drugs on the daily. Haven't been feeling like myself lately. Haven't been feeling like myself lately. Bet I take them drugs and come alive in the nighttime. Your love was too outdated. You need a landline. Pour my soul up in this cup and sip it like some fine wine. I put it in a pan and cook it up like some stir fry. Loving you is driving me crazy. That's why I take drugs on the daily. Yeah, it's driving me crazy. You're driving me crazy. Loving you is driving me crazy. That's why I take drugs on the daily. Haven't been feeling like myself. Hey Jake, what's up, man? Haven't been feeling like myself lately. Loving you is driving me crazy. That's why I take drugs on the daily. Haven't been feeling like myself lately. Haven't been. Well, Jake, you might appreciate this. This is what I was working on all morning. I was trying to create a specific 808 bass line here because on the first chorus, hold on, let me turn off these vocals for a minute here because I'm still mixing them. Hold on, here we go. So like right here, this part on, oh, how do I zoom in on this program again? Oh yeah, so here's the 808 part coming into this chorus. This, Then when I get to the next part, I needed to change because I've got this little stop here. Like if you look down here at the bottom, I was trying to get this thing to like stop on certain notes. Like, hold on, let me solo it up. It goes bop up. Took me like hours to figure this out, but it goes. You can see with the sample right here how we cut it. Just a small cut there, but on the next part here, all the notes were different, and if I changed the programming, I'd get into this complicated thing, but basically I had to switch out. I'd break up the 808 part onto 3 different tracks, as you can see here. Still getting used to this zoom. Yeah, you can see that 3 tracks. I got this, and I got this, so that I don't have to like do some crazy automation. So then I got this. Hold on.
He says his edifier speakers are pumping.
Oh, good, dude. The low end on this is insane. And here's the issue. Well, I'll show you. There was another issue, but here's the 808 part in this section. And you know that's cool, but the issue wasn't just getting the notes and everything to cut. Is that the bass drum part, the kick drum part, actually sounds like this. So putting those on top of each other was kind of a challenge. You know, together you ended up with a hell of a lot of low end, doing like this. And it didn't seem smooth to me because the kick drum has that long sustain to it. So what I ended up doing is that in this part of the song, when you're playing in the verses, you hear it's long. But when it gets to the chorus, I programmed it. You see how the sustain is shorter. It fades out, so it kind of creates some space for it. So it kind of clears up some space when that 808 comes in. I think it's pretty smooth. Here. Oh, shoot, those guitars are kind of loud. And I got my mandolins. And then we come to the rock part here with the bass guitar. So, Jake, the problem I had was when I was coming to this bass part, I was losing all my low end that I had in the 808. So I had kind of like this going on. So I'm going from this, I'm going to this. So I was like, oh man, how do I get all that low end into the bass, even though it's kind of pumping, it's doing this. So I tried a bunch of like, you know, bass enhancers, and I found this. This is actually a Brainworks free plugin. There's actually a fancier universal audio version of it that costs a ton of money, and I tried it out. This free one actually works better, and this is what it sounds like with it on. There's with it on, and then off. And I think it matches up the 808 pretty good. Tell me what you think.
He says, speak on your monitors in a second and whether you're still using a sub or not, like back at the zone.
Oh, no, I'm using a sub here, man. Absolutely, Jake. It's a smaller one. I got it from that Chinese company that copies everybody. I think they actually copied the Hafler subwoofer that I have at the Zone. It's smaller, but all the connections look exactly the same. But check this out. See if this 808 seems consistent with the bass. Here's the 808. Now here's the bass. I'm gonna turn up those guitars. I need to make those grimier. This song freaking rocks, man.
He says, very, very The Police style mixed with slightly stupid come around. I love it.
Man Network.
Yep, he just got in. He says, love. Oh, Jake says,
Oh, cool.
Couldn't recall the sub you had. My edifier setup can't get that low right now.
Oh, okay. Man Network. Yeah, no, I've only been here a couple minutes, and I've been kind of like messing around with trying to actually get that, because I'm multi-streaming onto Twitch. Not that I don't think anybody's actually watching me over there, but because my following there is not so big. But I want to get back into the streaming thing. But yeah, I've been into low end. I've been mixing other stuff, and now I'm working on this project here, which I think is going to be called X Blend. It's these guys from Alabama, and it's amazing. But I'm getting to do all the low end stuff again. So if you have any questions about the low end, well, since you're here, let me talk a little bit about what I do on low end. Everybody's always asking me, like, what are you boosting on your low end? And the thing about it is that I'm typically actually not boosting anything. I mean, hold on. Let me go to my 808 here. And if you actually look at my 808, let me go back to the first chorus on this one. You can see here, I'm cutting some high end because there's a little clicky on the top end. I usually do a cut at 20 hertz because, man, you're not going to really hear anything below 20, so I kind of cut it off there to take some energy away, so there's not so much energy going to the power amps. But then in this one, I'm not doing much else, that's kind of the sound there. But on some of this stuff, I'll actually do something more like, well, where's my dang, oh no, it's here. It's on my kick drum. Yeah. This is more typical. Like I'm boosting like 132 hertz, just a little bit, and it's not really what I would consider low end. That's almost more like low mids. But this sort of thing here is typically more what I do, and I'm only doing it a little bit here. But you can see I'm ducking a little at 47 hertz. I'm usually ducking a little at 47, 50 hertz, something like that. And this is actually the Pro Q3, so it's a dynamic EQ. So if you watch it play, not only am I ducking a little of that low end, but when it hits hard, it pushes down. It's like compressing that frequency. And that's a typical thing that I've done for like 20 years on big bass drums and 808s and all that. I'm usually pulling low end because I feel like there's usually enough low end in most of this stuff. The issue is that certain notes are going to be louder and certain areas are going to rumble. If I can pull that down, the rumbly area, then I can turn the whole thing up. So on most bass stuff, bass guitars and bass drums, I'm typically pulling away low end way more than I'm ever boosting. It's actually kind of rare to boost low end for me, except for this bass part today. That was the one exception, which was kind of surprising that I ended up doing so much on this one because I just couldn't get it to match up with the 808. Although if you look here, I'm definitely like on this bass part here, I'm ducking out some mud. Like here's the bass part here without the Pro Q3 on it. And then I brought this in because there was just so much like 100 hertz and muddy stuff. Where is this at? This is like 200 hertz. So, but once again, I'm just pulling away a lot of low end. I can read. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah, it never gets tubby, man. What are you saying, Jake? Oh, dude. So, Man Network. I don't know if you've ever used this Pro Q3. This plugin is like kind of life-changing for me. It works better than pretty much almost any multi-band compressor I've ever used. I know there's some that are kind of made for mixing, but for like getting rid of like obnoxious things in vocals, like there's usually like this 3.8K or 4K thing on vocals, and this thing's magic. But for basses, this thing has saved me hours and hours and hours and hours of work. The key is to always use the natural phase setting.
Yeah, he says he's got it.
Oh yeah, man, dude, dig into the dynamic EQ. And the funny thing is for pro, God, I'm trying to say Pro Q3. I usually say Pro 3. For Pro Q3, I don't know why I don't really dig boosting EQ on here. Like I don't like boosting frequencies. It just doesn't seem to have the vibe. But for subtractive EQ, this is the tool.
Jake says that's what you do like a pro.
Yeah. Yeah, Jake, you're saying turn down and offset the bass and kick frequencies. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I'm getting, yeah, dude, definitely getting back into grout mode. The guy who plays guitar on this stuff, well, actually, I'm playing a lot of the guitar, but a lot of it is this guy, Ty. He's definitely more of the like a 90s sound, but we're mixing it with this rap thing here as well. What else was I going to talk about with low end? Oh, and if there's any questions over there on... Oh, wait, I'm looking at Twitch, too. This is the first time I've only multi-streamed twice in my life. This is all new to me. God, I was trying to do this on TikTok earlier. It was a nightmare. It did not work out. Oh, and check this out. Check this out. I like this part here. This is the bridge. I spent a bit of time last night doing this with this low end. I'm going to turn it up a little bit so you can hear what's going on. So that actually is this. So how I did that is I grabbed, I did this. I froze the kick track. And this is why I love Ableton so much, the crazy stuff you can do in it. So if you freeze something, once it's frozen, if you just grab the track and then drag it down, copy it to another track, you get the waveform. So I got in there, and then, of course, I did the whole thing where I made it like, Complex Pro. And, then I came down here, and let me make this bigger here. I stretched out a note, did this whole thing. You stretch this stuff out, make it longer. So it was like, hold on, like this. But there were some issues with the pitch and all that, so I got it close. And then that ended up on this track. And then, I've never done this before, I put Melodyne on my on the 808. Hold on, I gotta grab this, bring the screen down here from up here because I got too many screens going on. So I put it in Melodyne, and then I cut it up. So you can see here's the first note. This is what I do. This is why I never go outside. So here's the hold on. Let me solo this up. Hold on a sec. So I did this. Oh, man, I moved it to the dang screen. I moved it off the screen to the PC screen like a dummy. Okay, hold on. Let me put this back. Here we go. So here is the 808. So I cut it up. I cut the notes up and kind of drug them down. And then, with a pitch, I just did this whole thing. So it's like it changes very gradually. Instead of this, I did this. Oh, and of course, stretching it out. I love using Melodyne for stretching things because I just think it just sounds better. And then I was like, oh, well, I was going to just do it on one note. And then I thought, well, let me do it on the second note. And then I was like, well, I'll put it on the third note too. And then I thought, well, let me put it backwards. Going into the next section, and I ended up with this. I haven't played this for the clients yet. Hopefully they like it. And then, so this is what I ended up with. And then backwards. So that's that. And I know I got to get this mixed probably by tonight because they're going to start promoting this stuff here pretty soon.
Band name.
Oh, it's X-Blend is the name of this band. So wait, hold on. Now I'm getting confused. Which chat am I looking at here? I got to get used to this. White is Twitch, black is YouTube. Okay. This is very confusing. And this is crazy. This is the first time I've been on Twitch in like a year.
Lime SDR joined us. Looks like maybe a Risky Biscuit guy person.
Oh, Lime SDR. Cool. Welcome to my little stream here. Just kind of getting back on Twitch. I don't have any overlays. I had a bunch of overlays. I took them all off. I think I usually have the chat up here and all that. I kind of started rethinking about, what I was doing. I think I stopped live streaming because I was working a lot and trying to make videos, and I wasn't really making much money on Twitch, and it was a lot of work. And then last October, November, we had a party, and I had my buddy Jim from Tokyo Teens out and Slade, who has been on a bunch of streams where we'd written songs on the stream. Like we'd come in and do an 8 or 9 hour long stream and come up with a song. And at the party, we started listening back to these songs, and we realized the best songs that we had were the ones we had done live on the stream. There was something about creating music on the stream and having people watch that kind of keeps a certain kind of energy and performance aspect that I really like a lot. And
Lady Adria was in.
And so I realized, man, the best music we made on both these projects was on the live streams. And I was like, look, guys, we should start streaming again, even if it's just so it forces us to write these songs and kind of puts the pressure on streaming, because something special happens. I can't explain it. It's like if I'm in the studio, I'll do a guitar part and I'll do it over and over again. Even if I know I already got it on the second take, I'll still just do it over and over again because I'm having fun. But there's something about having people watch and the pressure that is causing us to kind of just come up with stuff just as quickly as we can and not overthink it. So I was like, okay, we got to start streaming again if it's just for that reason. So I did a stream on YouTube, I guess like a week or two ago, where we finished up the overdubs for the Tokyo Teens album. That was like a 7-hour stream. We did guitars and vocals and a bunch of stuff. It was actually amazing. And then I've done a couple streams on Instagram, and I realized, God, I actually really like this. So I'm going to be doing this more often. I don't know how regular it's going to be, though.
It's kind of like the pressure of an analog take.
You could talk into the mic. There's a microphone there. You got to turn it on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Everybody say hi to Kit. She's never actually been on so your camera's there.
Oh, there it is.
There. So this is her first time actually on the stream. And
I know it's not entirely my first time on a stream.
Well, I mean, you're here today to basically hold my hand because I've been having a bad day. It's just, okay. You got your Starbucks. Wow. Did you see? Oh, so you saw that stream where I got the Starbucks. That was amazing. I swear I couldn't believe that happened. I got to make a little video about that.
Like magic.
Yeah, but Kit's usually help me with the stream. She's usually upstairs, but today I needed somebody by my side to make sure I don't smash anything because I had such a hard time dealing with TikTok and then trying to figure out how to get this multi-stream thing going. It's kind of interesting. I'm kind of wondering what the quality difference is between the two. Like I said, today is like just a test for me. Hold on. Let me look on the screen here. Sorry, guys. This is all. So there is Twitch. Always looks a little blurrier. Kind of hard to tell with. Oh, wow. I can go like this. It looks. Hold on. Looks a little blurry over here, too. Let's see. Does it look better? Yeah, YouTube looks a little better, I think. I think it looks better in Twitch. Yeah, and I had to stop making videos, too, for a while. I had a bunch of computer problems. And I was making a big video for Slate Digital, talking about their microphones and trying them out. And then the computer, it was a nightmare. And I really like making the videos. Yes, you're right, Man Network. It forces you to move on and finish the work. And that was a problem with me for years. I would never finish it. I actually still have a problem finishing things. I mean, right now it's because I'm booked, but just kind of getting it done. As somebody once said, no record album is ever finished. You know, you never finish them. You just abandon them. Like at a certain point, you just got to say, all right, we're done. So, you know, I guess that's the way I looked at it. The other thing I think I've realized in the last couple of years about some of the work that I do, and I think a lot of this came from doing the streams, is that if I have too much time and I'm working on an album and I'm tweaking it and tweaking it and tweaking it, it sounds good, but I feel like I could lose something. And then I'll go back and listen to the demos and go, oh my God, the demos are amazing. So I decided this last year that I'm going to quit actually making records. My clients probably won't like to hear that because they're hiring me to make records. But in my mind, I just think of everything as a demo from now on. I quit thinking about, oh, I'm making a record. I'm just making demos. I'm just having fun. I'm just going to do the things that I love. And if we start thinking about it, I don't want to have conversations about it. Either it's good or it's not. And that's all there is to it.
Yeah, he says finished is better than perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, man. That's totally it. Like, I've said to a couple people, they call themselves producers, and I'm like, well, you can't, to be a producer, you have to finish things. It has to actually get done and out the door. And the other thing is, I usually find that I'll go back and listen to something a year later and go, man, that actually sounds really good. So I think you can just freak yourself out listening things over and over and over again.
Jake says the YouTube quality looks fantastic.
Yeah, dude, the YouTube quality is way better. So why I think I'm going to be streaming on there more. So, you know, hey, and if anybody's got any questions about, or the fun and joy goes away, you know, Damage Kisses, that's true too. This the other thing that I've learned over the years, that if I'm not loving what I'm doing, like, what's the point? You know, I'll quit the project. I feel like if you're not doing it for the right reasons, it should be about love. And it's something that people always ask me, like, what, you know, since I've worked on so many hit records, they're asking me all these things like, how do you make a hit record, blah, blah, blah. And they think like there's like, I don't know what they think. I think there's some thing like maybe I don't know. Bottom line is, all the hit records I've been involved with were basically people in the studio having fun, just doing what they love. You know, I worked with Bone Crusher, and he'd been on multiple deals and all that. But when he finally had a hit record, which was Never Scared, it was just him just doing what he wanted. It wasn't what everybody thought he should do, you know. And the Yin Yang Twins, man, when Yin Yang Twins came out, everybody hated that stuff. But all the Yin Yang Twins songs were kind of based on jokes. I mean, you know, hey, why don't we whisper the song? What a dumb idea. And that was like one of their biggest hits, you know. And so I just feel like, coming back to the whole demo idea, like not thinking about what everybody else wants or what you should do or whatever, just have fun and be yourself, you know? Hey, is anybody, since I'm here, I wasn't going to really stream for long, but anybody's here. Does anybody have any questions about any technical stuff? Anybody want to know anything? You know? Otherwise, I'm going to work on this mix here. I guess I'll mix a little bit here. That's what I got to do today anyway. What was in the next part? I got to check out these guitars. You know what? Actually, I should be using on here. It's a bit of a power hog, but hold on.
Damage Kisses says, unfortunately, most of the technical stuff is over their head.
Yeah. Yeah, the technical stuff's over my head, too. It's kind of funny. Is like, I actually have a hard time explaining what I'm doing because I never went to school for this stuff. So sometimes when I'm stumbling, I know guys who actually really can explain this stuff, and I'm not one of them. I'm learning how to explain it. Now, if I could just, oh, there it is, Helios. I actually have to scroll through here. I love this plugin for the mid-range. This sucker's got a vicious mid-range on here. So I'm going to bring up this guitar here. Mid-range is killer. I love boosting mid-range on guitars. On this track too. Let's hear them together. It's the orange. It's not the Mesa. It's the orange. I think through the Marshall, that old Marshall cab, Jake. Oh, Jake, you'll recognize this snare sound. Oh, there's like something going on. Hold on. I just noticed that there's a little sound at the end of that. Yeah, you remember that? We used to use that back in the day. Hold on. There's like something going on with the end of the sample. Hold on a sec. That's better. There it is with it. Without it. Because in the earlier part of the song, like the way the drums sound on this is pretty garage drums, garage band, which actually I did record these in my garage. It's converted, but it's basically garage. So it's like this. Just I wanted really thuddy. And Ty played this, by the way, from X-Blend. But when it got to this heavy section, it just kind of kept getting lost. It was like, let me take it out. Like, so the drums, even though they're nice and thuddy, they're getting lost behind the guitars. That's why I brought in this sound. Actually, I might turn it up a little bit. Now, I like his guitar, B's solo guitar panned over to the left, but it's a little too over there. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to kind of put a delay over on the right. And here's one of the things I really like about Ableton. So here I am on the guitar track, right? And there's this thing called, I don't know why they call it this. It's called group. So if I go like this and go Command or Apple G, it creates like this chain, right? And then I can put another effect in here. So I'll go here. I'll go to filter delay. Where is it? And I can put it here. And it's like a little built-in effects rack on the channel. And it's just really easy to use. This is one of my favorite things about this program. So now I can control these effects without having to make a whole insert return and all that. It's not the same as like putting a delay right on the channel and messing with the mix. I never like doing that. It just never seems to come out right. So what I'll do is I'll filter the EQ or echo on the guitar. Of course, it's really loud. Hold on. Turn it down some. And I'm going to pan it over to the right. Actually, here's what I should do. I'm going to take the channel right here. I'm going to make the channel in the center, right? Then I'm going to control my panning from within this this group thing here. So I'm going to go to the original. Here's like the dry signal here. I'm going to put it over to the left and the delay on the right. So I control all my panning from within this little effects rack thing. So here's the guitar. Here's the guitar over to the left. Let me turn it down some. And then the delay. Maybe not that long, though. But something like that. And then I also filter the heck out of the delay so it actually sounds like this. You can filter it within the actual delay thing, the delay plugin here. But I actually like adding additional filtering to it. I kind of want it really extreme. So I'll do this here. I don't know, man. I love Ableton. Ableton's just fun to work in. It's creative. And then I'll add a little saturation. Here, I'm going to put saturation. So I'm going delay, saturation, and then into another filter. So I'm going to put a little saturation on here. Just saturate the delay. And I'll blend it with the original. That's too long. Of course, way too much, so I'm going to turn it down now. I mean, I'm...
Network says Thuddy drums for the snare. He likes mixing Tama's duo birch snare tom with a bell brass or a Black Beauty.
Nice. Yeah, Black Beauty's the thing. I love Tama's. I've got a massive drum sample folder here. I've got hundreds of drum samples. A lot of them are ones I recorded myself, and then some were kind of passed on to me through other engineers. Although I've gotten to the point I don't use, I mean, this thing I use that sample because I don't have anything else. I've gotten to the point now I don't use samples quite as much because I've got some kind of tricks I can use. I've also got like an amazing Black Beauty snare drum of my own that I've spent, a long time figuring out how to tune it. I really like that thing a lot. So proud of B. It's the first time he's ever done a recording session, and he ended up doing a solo. Yeah, I think I need to turn up...
Says, dude, that sounds fantastic.
Thanks, man. It's funny. The guitar is actually the pink telly. Oh, it's sitting right behind me here. B is playing this pink telly back here. And he's running into an old amp because he didn't have a good amp. So he's using my old solid state, transistor solid state Fender London Reverb that I got in the 80s and I used to tour with. It's like a combo amp and it weighs a ton. It's what I hauled around in a van or in the trailer behind the van in the 80s when I was playing in cover bands at like Holiday Inns and places in like little towns in the South. And then it's been sitting in the back room here for decades. And then when he got in the band, he needed a louder amp. It's like, I got a loud amp. So he's doing that. And then he's just running through a little delay. And he's using, I think he's using my my SansAmp box, like the actual SansAmp pedal. I've got one of the old ones, and that's it. And it sounded great. It's just a cool guitar tone. He came up with that sound for something we're doing in Tokyo Teens on one of those songs. It's like, oh, I really like that song. And then when we were working on this, the clients are like, hey, let's have B play on this. I was like, dude, let's do this. And this is one of the things. I think he was I think we streamed this too. Did we stream doing this solo? No, we did not stream doing this solo. Hey JT, how's it going? Typical Ebo stuff I got to do, and I'm still blending all this. It's like, oh, cool. Yeah, I think I'm going to turn these up on the end here. Oh, that one thing right here. I'm so happy about this song. All right, let me come back to the mandolins here. I don't have anything on the mandolins. I don't even have any effects on them. This makes you feel like you're entering heaven. Well, cool. That's nice. Hold on. I think I should throw a little reverb on these, maybe. Hold on. What kind of reverb do I have on these other guitars? And there's a few tracks on here, but not like some of the other songs. I'm not actually running hardly any reverb on anything like that. I don't even know what this other reverb. It says reverb, instrument reverb. I don't know what the hell. Like, we do these songs so fast. I don't know. Let's see what this sounds like. That's a bit much. Yeah, the thing I'm loving about this project is we'll go from like this, the song starts like this. You know, so you're like, oh, we're just here, kind of vibing, you know. And it goes into this chorus, which I really like, first chorus. And then it goes into this. Gets really spacey. And then we go into this. I mean, all our songs are like that. JT, I miss you too. I actually really miss streaming. I'm not gonna say I'm back. I mean, I'm kind of back because something's gonna come up and everything's gonna get wacky. You're struggling to find a mandolin. You to get a mandolin for the studio. Let me grab mine. I've got
Yeah, JT says she saw the IG post. She knows.
Okay, cool. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna go grab this other mandolin. I'll be back in a second. So hold on there, Crystal, if you want to talk to them.
I don't know. Oh,
Yes.
by the way, I lost track of whether I'm on or off.
Well, move the button towards you.
Is on.
That's on.
Okay.
Say something interesting. I'll be right back.
Say something interesting. I don't know. That's what happens when you get put on the spot like that. Your mind goes blank. But we have missed streaming. It's been a minute. But hopefully the computer thing's back up and running. I don't know, like JT said that she saw the Instagram video. There's an Instagram, actually, it's up on YouTube too, that tells a little bit about what the delay's been to getting. There was a delay with the videos and also with streaming. And just so everybody knows, because sometimes you'll hear Billy responding to a comment that you can't see, we're currently simulcasting both on YouTube and Twitch. So if you hear him answering a question and you're like, what the hell is he even talking about? That's what's going on. We love that, JT. Thank you. Hanging in there with us, following along. But yeah.
Okay.
You got it?
So, hold on. Still getting a little crowded in here.
Here, you want me to hold one?
I used to always clean up for my streams, and I've been so busy. Here's the room shot. I don't know how much you can tell. It's really a mess, basically. And the funny thing is since I quit cleaning up the studio for my streams, everybody's like, God, I love the way your studio looks. So this is the mandolin I've been using. This is a Heritage mandolin right here. Heritage is a company. I don't know if they're still making mandolins. I'm not really sure even what the status of the company is, but Gibson guitars used to be based out of Kalamazoo, Michigan, and then they were bought and they moved, and a bunch of guys didn't want to move, so they bought the factory and all the old tools and everything and started a company called Heritage. So when you see a Heritage guitar, it's kind of more of an actual Gibson than modern day Gibsons. So I've got a Heritage Electric up there. This is a Heritage mandolin. My mom bought this for me in the 90s as a birthday gift. It's kind of an expensive birthday gift, but I got it for like $800. And I played it on gigs and all that sort of thing. I looked it up recently. These things go for like a lot more money. It was like, this one's maybe a little beat up, but I think you could get it for like $2,000 or $3,000 or something like that. And it's interesting. It's got like a wooden pick guard and all that. And it's pretty cool. It's like, the models are a little different. It's like this teardrop shape. Everybody uses the little curly thing, but I like these. Maybe just the sound's a little bit different. So I'm using this. It's a little bit expensive, but I actually started on this.
Say hey to Valleywood Studio. Coming in from the UK.
Oh, hey, Valleywood, what's going on? So this is a Harmony. Ooh, it's a little out of tune. This is a Harmony mandolin. My dad bought this because he said he was going to learn to play mandolin and then never did, and he gave it to me, back in the 80s. And then at some point in the 80s, I started playing it and fell in love with it. And I actually ended up using this for years before I talked my mom into buying me for a birthday gift. It's a lot cheaper. It's actually got a lot thicker body. I kind of actually like the tone of this one because it's a little deeper. The strings are really old, though. I haven't played it in a while. It's really out of tune. But I think these are fairly cheap. Hey, kid, look up what would a Harmony mandolin go for? I mean, I'd be surprised if this thing was more than a few $100, man. And the thing about mandolin is, you can go out and spend a lot of money on them, but even a cheap one's going to kind of sound like a mandolin, I mean, it's like they're a little hard to play because you got 8 strings on here.
Did you say Harmony?
Yeah, Harmony, a Harmony mandolin. Harmony makes cheap guitars and stuff like that. And, the main thing is that they're hard to play because there's 2 strings, so you're pushing down 2 strings for each note. They're also really close together, so it can be hard to play. So the main thing is to make sure it's easy to play. But, I just kind of feel like unless you're doing like bluegrass music where the mandolin's really exposed and really out there, kind of all mandolins are going to sound kind of the same.
Vintage one, because I don't see any new ones.
Oh, I wonder if this thing's worth some money now. I mean, this is something my dad just bought at a local music store.
You can get them on eBay. Oh, I don't have my mic on.
Well, you could always look it up on your computer.
What do you think I'm doing?
Whatever. The other thing about mandolins is, normally when you're recording an acoustic instrument, you're getting like a large diaphragm condenser, a small diaphragm condenser, and all that kind of thing. And I mean, one of my favorite mics for a mandolin is an SM57. Got to tell you, man, I don't know. I was working on this bluegrass project, which I'm still mixing, and I have a really expensive Gefell mic on it, but also double mic'd it with the 57. And I end up keep going back to like, you know, 57, which is like $100 mic. I just think it sounds amazing.
Yeah, so Man Network says he's got one of the LPs, the Heritage LPs. And then Valleywood Studios says...
Okay, well, hold on. Just tell me to read, because it's easier for me to just read it. Yep. Oh, hey, studio dude. Yeah, I was my stream today. There's no real theme today. I'm experimenting with simulcasting on YouTube and Twitch, which I actually managed to pull off. I earlier was trying to do TikTok and Instagram, and it was a complete failure. I at some point I couldn't even get on Instagram anymore. So I thought, well, let me try this, and it's working. This is going to be the MO going into the future. The trick is going to be keeping up with the chat and stuff like that. Oh, wait, you were tracking some African Zulu singers. What? Do you have any footage of that? Like, how many?
That's
like,
cool.
What was that? Like, was it a group? What was that for? Was it for, like, traditional South African music or something that somebody's putting over? Or like, wow, that's cool. Oh, so Harmony doesn't make guitars anymore. So this is vintage. So this is a vintage. Maybe I should take better care of it. Oh man, this is vintage. Of course, I'm vintage. So at this point, you know. But yeah, man, like I said, just you know, unless you're doing something really pristine and all that, just get something that sounds pretty good and it's gonna sound like a mandolin. You know, the mandolins kind of sound like a mandolin to me.
Yeah, Studio Dude says the best over he ever recorded was a really old, cheap plywood body.
Yeah. I like cheap sounding guitars and stuff. I mean, sometimes they kind of, I don't know. Sometimes when if I'm working on an acoustic and it's kind of too nice sounding, it's kind of hard to get it in the mix. Like I said, it might be different if it's just like, it's just acoustic and maybe a bass and a vocal and you just need to, but half the time I'm trying to get the guitar to fit in there, and sometimes having a smaller guitar or something with older strings just sounds better. Yeah, so yeah, exactly. I had the Gefell, so I don't know what it was. I've got a video about it. I can't remember the numbers. And I was kind of blown away in the studio. I was like, oh, this thing sounds nice. But in the mix, I just keep coming back to the 57, man. It's amazing how good those sound on so many things. It's a band called Ubunai. What?
It's probably Ubunye.
Ubunye? Turn on your mic when you talk.
I know. But I don't know what I'm talking about. But I guessed it's probably Ubunye.
You know more about what you're talking about than I do. I think you know more about what I'm talking about than I do.
No.
Wait, did I say that right? Yeah, dead strings on acoustic. In certain situations, yeah, definitely deader strings. I don't know. Sometimes it just seems like people are pushing so hard for some sort of like pristine, high-tech sound, and sometimes it's not really the best thing. This is cool.
Oh, I got it right.
What?
Ubunye.
Ubunye. Oh,
No,
cool.
Ubunye.
Ubunye. Well,
Something like that.
I'm glad you're here because I can't say anything. I can't even pronounce. Well, there's a lot of things I can't pronounce, right?
Yeah, Damage Kisses is saying she thinks Instagram makes streaming hard on purpose.
Yeah, well, I mean, I had it working. I was doing a test because I'm trying to stream on Instagram like through OBS on the computer. And I did it last week, and it was an amazing stream. It was so fun. It's some really funny stuff happened. I got to make some Instagram videos about it. But then I was trying to get the chat up there. So I was like, oh, maybe I can show the chat on the screen and capture and put it in there. So I did a test today. And this has happened to me 3 times in a row where if I do a practice stream and they go, okay, I got it going. And then I go and try to do an actual stream to the public. I can't, it doesn't work. And I don't know what is up with that. It's driving me kind of nuts because I'm trying to do it on the computer so that I can show all these different shots. And here's another thing that I got going on now. This is a new thing. I got this hooked up so that
Gear cam.
Huh?
I said gear cam.
Yeah, this is like sometimes I'm talking about equipment. I just want to kind of, get in on something or show something down here. So I got this happening now. This is one of my other things. But, I want to be able to show different things. I also want to be able to, show the screen. And sometimes, there's multiple people up here and multiple
What's
things
super
going
chat
on.
money?
Oh, super chat. Oh, I need to do that.
Yeah, that's Man Network says he doesn't see it.
Oh, I think I need to set that up. Okay, I've got a little confession to make here. I'm going to go ahead and just say it out here because I'm an idiot. So I got monetized on YouTube over a year ago, right? And I kept going man, aren't I going to earn anything? And then I got busy with stuff and I wasn't paying attention. But there was I kept seeing this email in my email account, and I thought it had something to do with this Amazon program. I forget what it's called, where you can put links to products and all that. So I thought it was that, and I kept ignoring
Amazon Associates or something like
yeah.
that.
And then a couple months or a month or so ago, I was like, let me look at that email again. I realized it was oh, you have this one last step to being monetized, which is they want to send you the check and they want to make sure the address is right. So they actually put in their address. They mail you a number in an envelope. You go and get that out of your mailbox and put that number in. That was it. For a really long time, I wasn't getting any money because I'm an idiot and I didn't check my freaking email. But super chat, same thing. I guess I could set that up somehow.
He says he'll send you money if you set it up.
Hey, can we set that up right now?
I don't know.
Here, get up there. Send me some money. I need to make some money, man. It's I've made a little money off of the streaming stuff, but certainly not enough to pay for the gear and the lights and oh my God.
And then Studio Dude was telling us about the first band he ever played in.
Oh, damn, Studio Dude. Wait, 19, man, you're older than me. Wait, there's actually somebody older than me on here?
You already figured this out.
I mean, I've seen his pictures online.
No, you guys talked about it on a Twitch stream.
Did we?
I think so.
Well, I must be old because I'm forgetting shit. You do not look older than me, dude. You look great. The Harmony Rocket. Oh, so they made some of the Silvertone. Oh, this is interesting. So my neighbor moved out yesterday, and hey, can you run upstairs and grab that little Silvertone amp?
Lord. Okay.
Please. So my neighbor moved out yesterday, or he's moving out, and he had two of my boys over there helping him put stuff in the dumpster, and they came back with a couple of amplifiers. One of them's a PV. It's got a bunch of digital controls, but one of them says Silvertone. It's not old. I know it's not old, but it said Silvertone. Certainly they're licensing the name or something like that. When I think of Silvertone amps, I think of the ones that back in the day, they were actually part of the guitar case. So, but I saw this and I was like, oh man. And I actually have check this out. Look at this. Yeah, look, it says Silvertone. I know it's not old, but I don't know. It's got it's somewhat old because there's a jack on here that says tape CD. Okay, that's still showing a little bit of age, right? I haven't even tried it out yet. So yeah, we got a couple free amplifiers. You'll be 73 in June. Well, God bless you, man. I'm glad that you're still doing sessions. I see some of your pictures sometimes of doing stuff, how old am I? Am I 60?
Why are you asking me this?
Here, turn on your mic. Tell the people how freaking old I am.
Well, but I don't remember. Hold on.
We have our birthdays on the same day.
I know, but that doesn't mean I know how old you are right now. I know when our birthday is.
Well, how old are you?
Um,
Shit, because you could just add 14.
No, I know.
That's how we used to figure it out. We just add 14 to your age, and then we know how old I am. I was born in 1963. Put it that way. I know somebody could figure out. Wait a sec. I was born No, you were doing in that. You were in that. So I was 1 year old when you were playing in that band. Damn, dude. We're old. We used to do live recording gigs from here using Concert Window. It's a fast and the stock portal among mono. Yeah. I don't even know if you guys are hearing this in stereo or not. I mean, of course, I'm just talking right now. I know on Instagram it's all mono, which kind of sucks. Yes, I don't own any ribbon mics. I need to buy some. She didn't catch that one. But if I'm in a
I
studio,
ignored it.
She ignored that one. Yeah, she ignored the thing about using ribbon mics. I recently spent a lot of money on other stuff, a whole lot of things. So I think ribbon mics. But man, I like. I'm just a huge fan of the Royers. Although those Cascade ones, the cheap ones, those aren't bad. But I just love Royer 121s. I was in a studio recently and we're using the Coles, the big black Coles, the really expensive ones. And I like them for drums. I put it on a fiddle, and then later on I was like, I wish I'd used a Royer. It's like half the price or something like that. I love the Royer 121s, I'd love to get a couple of those. So I'm 61. Yes, that sounds about right. I feel, studio dude, I feel like I'm 27. Well, actually, I feel like I'm 27 with a backache. And then I look in the mirror and I'm like, who's that? Oh God, I'm old. Oh my God. But I still feel, I feel young,
Yes, it is stereo.
Dude, I've not, man, I've never tried the AEAs yet. I've been wanting to get the Biodynamic, it's like the 610 or something like that. They look like handheld mics. They're supposedly really good, and they're cheap because they're not popular, but I've been thinking about that. I think like those legendary Led Zeppelin drum parts that everybody loops, I think those were recorded with the Biodynamic ribbon mics. And it's funny that they're called Biodynamic, but they're ribbon mics. I don't know what that's about. I'm been thinking about that a lot.
To do the super chat thing, you have to be in YouTube Studio.
Hold on. Hold on, man. Bear with me here. We're making progress today. I'm making progress, even if I'm totally screwing everything up because of it's just a lot of stuff happening. Okay, YouTube Studio. We're gonna do this right now.
Valleywood Studio says that they're really lucky to have Stuart Tavener up in York with extinct audio ribbons.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I got to work at Blackbird Studios in Nashville a lot, and he's got one of the most amazing mic collections ever. So I was able to try a bunch of ribbons up there. I'm looking. Where is
Like Earn.
Oh, hold on. Earn? Wait, where did you see Earn? Oh, yeah, Earn. Look at that. Right there. Earn. Supers? What is this? Get started?
Mm-hmm.
Am I supposed to read all this crap?
It says
Here, I'm going to scroll to the bottom. Yeah, sure, I read it. It's like high school. Okay, here we go. So what? I guess I just turn all this stuff on.
I guess.
Is that it? All this time, this is all I had to do? God, what is wrong with me?
Kind of like getting monetized, eh?
Yeah. My stupidity blows me away. It's actually surprising. People who know me, but God, I just there's so much going on that I don't. Yeah, whatever. Oh yeah, Biodynamic M1 160. I guess ribbon mics are dynamic. Yeah, you're right. I never thought about it that way. I actually have been thinking about trying to make a ribbon mic just as for a video for the fun of it, Yeah. Anyway, I think you can do super chat now. I think I turned it on.
Well, anyway, let us know if that worked.
It's kind of interesting. It's like one of those, oh my God, there's just so many things I got to do. My life's kind of complicated. There's another mic I came across when I was working at Compass Studios in Nashville for the Greenwood Rye sessions. And hold on, I want to look it up. It's nothing fancy, but maybe you'll recognize this. What was interesting about this mic is that, oh no, not that. Hold on, I'm looking. Oh dang, is that so? I needed to record the singer while he's playing acoustic guitar. And I wanted to put a mic on him. So the engineer there's like, hey, try out this mic. And it had the most amazing rejection. Like he was sitting there singing, and you wouldn't even know, you could not even really hear the acoustic guitar. And now I'm having a hard time finding the video. Where was it? Because it was all this stuff up in Nashville. Hold on, let me find it, and I'll show you. I think I can show you. Oh yeah, okay. I got a goofy thumbnail.
For me,
it.
Alpha Brain is the
my
very...
God, stop. Hold on, I'm going to go to this view here. Let me. So here's the video. Let me find it. I got a little shot of it here somewhere of him playing acoustic. I don't know if you'll be able to see the mic, though. Hold on. This is all about the bass, I think. Yeah, that's the bass. Using the mic pre's and EQ and all that. But this mic is interesting, like for like, oh yeah, there's the, like that's what I was using on banjo, a Coles and a Gefell. And then, because it'll change the... I'm actually mixing this project this week. Hold on. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, yeah. Okay, check it out. I don't know if you're able to see it. Look at that. You can't really tell what mic it is right there. I wrote it down somewhere. But there's like, my God, like if you solo up the mic... Oh, you know what? I probably got it on a sheet of paper back here. The engineer, like he's one of those guys that actually writes things down. You can see I'm doing the 3 mic technique here on Sean. You can see I've got spaced pair here and then one up close and then this mic. But my God, it sounded cool, and you just can't hear the acoustic. I don't even know how that's possible. Anyway, oh, thanks, man. Thank you. Wow, we've had some big milestones today. Hold on. Can you see the chat? If anybody's, well, if you're on YouTube, I guess you can. Thanks so much. I really appreciate that. That's really awesome. Yeah, I guess I could have turned that on a long time ago. Could it phase? You mean the vocal mic? Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, I guess not on the vocal mic, but on the acoustic. So what he would do, oh, thanks again. Thank you so much. I usually, in this situation, he sings and plays guitar, and as soon as they get the band take, I have him immediately just put down the acoustic guitar part, and then wherever he's not singing, I try to use the original acoustic part, and then where he's singing, I bring in the part that he redid. The MXL R144, yeah, I don't really know I've tried those mics a couple times, don't know much about them. Yeah. Sorry, what?
No, I was just going to say there's stuff to respond to.
Yeah. So Valleywood Studio, you're talking about working with younger musicians and they're so more diverse and all that. It's something...
No, that was Studio Dude.
Oh, did he? Wait.
Oh, yeah, no, he's replying to Studio
Yeah,
Dude.
that's right.
Sorry.
Yeah. You're recording younger people. Yeah, so Studio Dude, I often say my clients are typically a couple decades younger than the microphone they're singing into. You know, it's like I rarely work with people anywhere close to my age. I love working with young people. They're a lot more open to different ideas and different kinds of music. Like back in the day, you know, you had your kind of like, it was almost like being like on a team or something like that. I'm a rock guy or I'm a country guy. And people don't think about it that way. And it was something I actually struggled with for years as a producer, where working with record labels and all that, I had to stick to these formats of a genre, and they'd say, oh, it sounds to this. And I'm trying to be generic. I'm trying so hard to be generic. And they would still say, it sounds really different. I'm like, God, I can't even be generic. And nowadays, I'm loving working what I'm working on because my clients don't care. They just want it to be good. And younger people are really cool, man. They're just very open about stuff. And like, you know, I'm out doing gigs now with my buddy Jim, who's my age, and we go and we play these bars where everybody's like decades younger than us. And there's a couple of times they look at us a little weird when we walk in, but once we start playing, we're like, oh, cool. You know, they don't think about us being older. And I don't know. I just really like that. What else? Oh, I had something else I was going to say. I can't remember now. I just don't like. I hate stopping streaming. I don't know. I guess I can. Is there something I can show? Can I talk about something? You know?
Somebody did ask something. Did
Oh,
you
is there a
get to
question
it?
I didn't get to here?
Oh, do you make mix adjustments like making certain instruments louder in prep for mastering?
Oh, am I tweaking out my mix before Dude, I'm tweaking out my mix right up into the very freaking end, man. I'm like, oh my, you have no idea. No, the mix ain't done until the client's like, it has to be to the mastering guy in the morning, and I'm like, well, I better get it done tonight, you know. Now I'm tweaking stuff out constantly, like right to the end. And the other thing I found that I find very interesting is that a lot of times the song I'm working on is going to be going with a video. And I find that listening to the song when I'm looking at the video completely changes how I think about certain things should be mixed, because what you're seeing on the screen affects how you hear the music. So if they've got some video, if they let me know what it's about, or if I can get a rough cut of the video, I try to listen to it. Like, it all depends on how they're promoting it. And nowadays, so many people are promoting songs through YouTube because they're not on a big label. It's like, if I can get the video, even if it's not completely done, let me get that and listen, you know, kind of put it in there. I'll put it in Pro Tools and go through the mix watching the video, because it'll actually change certain things that I do. And I can't even tell you what it is. It just kind of hits me differently. Like, you know, like maybe I got a lot of reverb on the vocal, but where he's at, it looks like, oh man, that doesn't seem to fit, you know? Things like that, you know? What conditioner do I use for my hair? Oh boy, you're not going to like this. I don't actually use anything. And strangely enough, I don't actually wash my hair at all. I rinse it. I rinsed it earlier today. I just use hot water. Like every once in a while, I might use a little Head and Shoulders, you know, maybe. I hadn't used Head and Shoulders in like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
I literally haven't put soap in my hair in like a couple years.
Yeah.
I just rinse it with hot water, you know. I feel like whenever I use soap, I don't know, it just dries out my skins, and then I got to use a conditioner. Whereas if I just rinse it out, the oil kind of stays in there. I don't know. I just kind of leave my hair alone. And I, you know, as I got older, I'm starting to get bald on the top a little bit. So I was like, I should cut it. So I cut it a few years ago, and then I got busy and I forgot to cut it. And then I realized, like, oh, it's long again. So I was like, the hell with it. I'll just let it go. So sorry, man. Like, I have no secret. There's no secret to my hair, except I just let it grow and I don't wash it. I know that sounds weird, but I'm just glad this is working after the failure earlier of...
So, Studio Dude would like to know if you're going to actually talk about low end, or was that just
Oh,
clickbait?
sorry. Oh, you missed it. I was talking about low end. Hold on.
It was clickbait.
No, it wasn't clickbait. I was
I know,
actually going
I'm
to talk
teasing.
about low end. I didn't have a lot to say. Well, Studio Dude, I'll go back over it for you again. I'll play a little bit of this song. This is a song called Numb by a group called X Blend. It's these two guys from Alabama, and we've done 5 songs. I think there's going to be a 6th now. And I really like this because I couldn't say what the genre is. I'll play a little bit of the music here. I'm playing guitar on it. Ty from the group is playing guitar on it, and then B from Tokyo Teens does the guitar solo. I'm doing a little bass. I'll see you later, Man Network. Have a good session. Look out for me. I'll be doing more of this. You have a good night, too. I'm sure you'll recognize that guitar part. I copied it. And here's the first chorus. So, yeah, more bass at all frequencies. So the struggle I had with this Studio Dude was that the kick drum was it's kind of a kick 808 thing. So it was like this. And then it goes into the chorus, where I've got this 808, like a big 808 playing right here. I tried EQing it, but what I thought is like, well, the kick drum is just like got too much sustain on it underneath that 808. So I just automated, let me unfreeze this. I just automated the kick drum. So if you look at here, let me switch to this view. Crystal, you got to remind me to put on the mixer view if I'm talking technical stuff.
Say hey to Mark Songs over on Twitch.
Oh, hey, Mark Songs, what's up?
Says it reminds me of a bit of Don Henley.
You're close. Same era. I'm going to play a little bit more of it, see if you recognize the guitar part that I copied. So anyway, right here.
Bye to Valleywood.
See ya. You can say it too.
Oh, that's true. I can.
So you can see here's the kick drum sample. It's kind of long. I just automated the decay time to make room for the 808. So here it comes. Then it shortens. And then when the 808 goes away, it goes back to the full length. And I was thinking about it last night because I was working on this last night and this morning.
Sean got it.
What? Oh, you got it. You got it. All the weird little tricks I have about low end, like a lot of times it's about the length of the note and how you blend it together. But the main thing with low end, and I'm sure you know this, studio dude, is that everybody's asking me what I boost, and I typically don't boost low end. I mean, on this one, you can see right here, I'm boosting a teeny bit at 132 hertz, just to give it a little bit punch. But as far as the big low end, I'm typically pulling out. So you can see right here on this kick drum, I've got it pulled down like a dB at 47 hertz, and then I've got the dynamic EQ turned on, so it's pushing down a little bit more. This is a very, very typical thing I do on 808s and big kick drums, is actually to duck down somewhere in this area. And the reason I do that is because that's the boomy area. That's the part that's going to blow up the speakers and make them rattle. If I can get rid of that, it allows me to actually turn up the bass. The other thing I did was later on the bass guitar, I was trying to match up this 808 with a bass guitar. So I had like this, like here's a chorus, or this section here, this and then later on it goes into just bass guitar, which is this distorted bass. But I wanted to match up the low end. So here's a situation where I added low end, and I use this plugin. I don't know if you've tried this before. It's a free plugin from Brainworks. There's like a really expensive version of this, which I have. I tried it on demo today. I actually like this free one better. So I ended up going from this to this because I needed to match the 808. One of the rare situations where actually I'm boosting the bass. Although I ended up ducking out quite a bit here of the 200 hertz and 97 hertz, because it was just like, if without it, it just got all wonky and all that. So, but the idea was to match up the bass guitar with the 808, which is really hard to do. And I think it's close. I'm still tweaking it. But here's the 808 section. Here's the bass. And I think that works pretty good, you know? The other thing with low end is I like to use distortion. Like a lot of the rap records and stuff, I use distortion on my 808s all the time. Not always in a way that people can hear, but, like really obviously, but it kind of smooths it out, but it also makes it more audible in smaller speakers. Oh yeah, Studio Dude. God, I was talking about that earlier. The Pro Q3. Oh my God. Like, before this came out, like, especially working on bluegrass records, like some of the infamous String Dusters records, trying to, like, you know what mixing a stand-up bass is like? There's, like, all these weird frequencies, and then he goes from, like, maybe a G on the E string to a C on the A string, and there's, like, this 65 hertz that jumps up 12 dB, and I'd be like automating my EQ. I never could find a multiband compressor, and I would spend hours and hours. And I remember on their album, Laws of Gravity, I literally cried sometimes working on that album because I wanted to get the low end. And then this thing came out. I'm like, oh my God. It's like this thing is like the most amazing plugin. Hey, Sleepyhead, man, I was just talking about you. So Sleepyhead's here. He's actually on this song. He's playing a little bit, although he gave away the solo to B because Sleepyhead's a very generous person. And then I was like, hey, you could play the guitar part. He's like, man, I like what you're doing. But yeah, here he is. Which you're way better at this kind of thing than me. Here comes B solo. All right, Sleepyhead, I'm going to put in your vocals here. I've not been playing the vocals because I'm still mixing them, and I think some of the stuff that you did live, damn it, because like we recorded all this, right? And then it's like, hey, let's film some of this. So I recorded them while we were filming, and then he killed some of the live vocals, so I haven't put any of that in, but I'll play some of what you did. Here he is with some of the vocals. Just a warning to younger people, they're speaking about illicit substances. Here, I'll take it a second. I'll play the whole damn song. What the hell? Here we go. I'm just going to play the whole damn song. And even Carson, I like some of what he did live. Yeah, I'm just going to play the whole song, folks. I love this song. Oh, yeah, I'll get to your question in a second.
Tell me how would you feel if I
Have you heard this all the way through?
drift out in the darkness, still looking for the light. I can't let you shake me, and my future looking bright. She say you don't love me well, but you probably right. We hit it off nice, but you weren't really my type. But then again, if they touch you, then I'm crushing windpipes. Your love on the stem, I gotta pick it while it's right. Take a drag, I'm grounded, but I'm flying like a kite. Loving you is driving me crazy. That's why I take drugs on the daily. Haven't been feeling like myself lately. Haven't been feeling like myself lately. Overdue for flowers, I should water my pot. Mama told me you get the chance, you gotta take a shot. I could sit on here and just brag about what I bought. Instead, I'm drifting away with these feelings that I caught. Drugs got me nauseous, I'm not feeling too hot. Bad vibes just called and they put me on the spotlight. Put me on, put me on. Put me on, put me on. Loving you is driving me crazy. That's why I take drugs on the daily. Haven't been feeling like myself lately. Haven't been feeling like myself lately. Loving you is driving me crazy. That's why I take drugs on the daily. Haven't been feeling like myself lately. Haven't been feeling like myself lately. Bet I take them drugs and come alive in the nighttime. Your love was too outdated, you need a landline. Pour my soul up in this cup and sip it like some fine wine. I put it in a pan and cook it up like some stir fry. Loving you is driving me crazy. That's why I take drugs on the daily. Yeah, it's driving me crazy. You're driving me crazy. Loving you is driving me crazy. That's why I take drugs on the daily. Haven't been feeling like myself lately. Haven't been feeling like myself lately. Loving you is driving me crazy. That's why I take drugs on the daily. Haven't been feeling like myself lately. Haven't been feeling like myself lately.
What'd you think?
Oh, Oh, damn.
It's the first time she's actually heard it all the way through.
I've heard pieces.
Yeah, and you hear it booming through the floor.
Oh, yes.
I love this song. I'm actually, and Ronnie hit me up. I got to get this mixed. So let me get back to the question here. John,
It's about the studio.
I don't see the...
Nice studio. Did you design it? Can you talk a little on acoustics in your studio and what you did?
Okay, so John, 415, yes, I did design it. The studio, and actually, I'll give you a little quick shot here. Where's my room shot? That you can kind of see it here. Hang on, I'm going to turn on... I don't have another light. I got to get it darker. This is in my basement of my home, and there's actually another room out here.
I'll be right back.
And then back that way, if you can see me pointing, there's a vocal booth, and then another room beyond there. I got guitars in there, and then my workshop and all that. And it's basically, this is at my home. This room here was my kids' playroom. And I was driving down to I've got another studio in another house where I've worked for decades and done all my hit records at, but I got tired of driving. So I was like, well, I'll put a computer in the corner and do some editing. And then I was like, well, let me bring some more stuff up. And it just kept going and going and going and going. And then during the pandemic, I ended up driving down the other studio and bringing gear up here. And then I just ended up bringing everything up here. So I still have the other studio. I've got a pair of speakers. And I just go there to mix. I don't even have mic cables down there. I just go down there to mix. But as far as the design, for mixing, I like my other studio better. The ceilings are kind of low here. I think they're like maybe 8.5 feet tall. I feel like the ceilings are a little low. The room's a little dead. I deaden the walls. I feel like I deaden the walls too much. So I've been putting up some wood paneling and stuff. Here, I'll give you a shot here around. It's a mess. Let me just kind of, whoops. So let's see. Let me do it like this. So you can see, there's some wood panels and stuff up. I just feel like I deadened the room a little bit too much. So I've been slowly adding stuff in to liven it up. I feel like it's kind of too dead. This diffuser behind me, I just built that. And I'll be honest with you, I looked up the mathematics of diffusers and I wasn't smart enough to fucking figure it out. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna make some different size panels, and I'm going to. Hey, did my live on YouTube freeze or something?
No, looks good.
Okay. Well, what's this saying up here? Sorry, hold on. I'm gonna get back to it in a second here. I don't know what's that doing. I just made these. So the diffuser is just different size panels, and there's literally just screws, and I just turn them so that they're all slightly different. It's nothing fancy. These other panels back here, these are, it's just moving, yeah. So these things, oops, I'm supposed to tape the connection here, like an idiot. Oh, hold on. I freaked it out. Hold on.
No, I think we're back.
Oh, is the cat? No, that's working, but my iPhone's not working here.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I freaked it out. And I usually put tape on the connection so I don't, step on the cable like I just did.
John 415 wonders if you can recommend a book on acoustics.
Hold on. It's freaking out on me here. Well, trust. Trust, yes. No, not really. I've tried to look that stuff up. Here's the thing about fancily designed studios. I've worked in a bunch of them. There's been plenty of times I went to studios where they spent more money on the acoustics in their control room than my house cost, right? And I'm in there, I'm like, God, I don't really like the sound of this room. There's a couple studios, I'm not going to mention them by name, but I know what they spent on them, and I know the people that built it. I've mixed there, and I'm sitting in the middle, and I'm like in front of an SSL and all that stuff, and I move 3 feet this way or 3 feet that way, and it just sounds weird. Yet my basement studio down in Norcross, or my other studio, I prefer to mix in. There was another studio in Nashville. I forgot the guy's name. He did a bunch of work with Katie Lang, and I did a big chunk of one of the infamous String Dusters records there, and it's basically in a building behind his house. And I love that control room. And it was nothing fancy. He had sheetrock walls, and then he had some panels up and stuff like that. And I was remarking like how much I like his control room. And he said, well, here's the thing. You go to a big studio and it's all this padding and panels. And he says, who listens to music in a room like that? Everybody knows what sheetrock sounds like. And it kind of hit me. I was like, wow. And some of the worst control rooms I've been in were like really expensively designed. And I don't know what you do with that. Or like, I'm sure you've seen this studio at Blackbird, the one that's, I think it's Studio C. And I worked at Studio D at Blackbird a lot. Hold on, let me look this up real quick. Studio.
So you want to play guitar?
Oh, stop. And I'm gonna just bear with me a second because I'm not trying to be a jerk, but okay. Let me go to images. I'm sure everybody's seen pictures of this right here. Let me go. How do I? Open image in new tab. Okay. So this studio. Let me go to this view. I'm sure everybody's seen this. Now you can see it's got all these little pieces
Looks
of wood.
cool.
Oh, it looks amazing. And I think it was designed by George Massenberg. And no two pieces of wood in here are the same length. It's supposed to be like the deadest room in the world, or an anaerobic or whatever. Here's another view of it here. Come on, my internet's going slow because I'm streaming and all that. Yeah, let me just zoom in here. This guy. So, is this the same one? Yeah. So you can see that there. So I was working up there a bunch, and I was working in the studio next door, Studio D, which I actually really like a lot. It's got rock on the wall and stuff. And so there was the owner, John McBride, like, hey, you want to come over and check out the room? And we went in there, and this guy was like playing back like some Michael Jackson and stuff like that. And, it was cool, and it's interesting to listen to stuff in there. But, it just sounded weird to me. I was like, that's cool, but I wouldn't even know how would you mix? Like, it doesn't sound like anything in the world. I guess you could get used to it, but I like working in rooms that are, here's another view. I mean, it was kind of cool, but, what do you do with that? Oh yeah, here we go. Now, this is like the epitome of like specialized design, right? And I know I'm babbling here, but to me, it kind of comes down to some pretty basic things. And I'm not saying don't go buy a book and all that, but there's what they call the golden ratio. Like there's a certain amount of length. I think it's like 2/3 as wide as long or whatever. Like it's basically a rectangle shape, and you can look it up. And this room is not that, which is why I think I have a couple issues in this room with the low end. That's an important thing. And then the other thing is very simple. Like make sure that any of the sound on the left and the right, like think about sound coming out of your speakers and bouncing off the walls to the left and right and then into your ears. Just put some panels up there. And if you're not sure where to put the panels, you just have somebody stand over on the wall with a mirror. You get the speakers. Your speakers should be the same distance apart from from each other as they are from each ear, right? And then, so you sit there and then you get somebody to go along the wall with a mirror, and any place where you can see in the mirror that speaker, you put a sound panel there, right? And don't make it too thin. People get these little panels and they're like an inch or two thick. That's only taking out some of the high end. Get some at least 4 inches thick. And then the other key is don't stick that panel right on the wall. You'll get more absorption if you have the panel the same distance out from the wall as it is thick. There's some mathematical equation, and I've read it, whatever. But make sure you can put little like spacers on it so it sits out from the wall. So you see all my panels here are sitting out from the wall. And then, put a panel over your head, and then behind you, put some diffusion. You can make something like what I got here, or you could just put bookshelves back there and just stack it with a bunch of randomly sized books, and that's going to take you pretty far into getting your control room, if you don't want to spend a bunch of money. This room is not scientifically designed. It needs some improvement. I need to liven it up some. that's my take on it. But I do have a funny story about this studio here. And I'll tell this really quick. But this studio here, this is the Studio C at Blackbird, and I was working in Studio D, which is this one, and I was working on some country stuff. Hold on, let me show you the images. And I actually really kind of prefer this one more, like this here. Let me zoom in on this here. That's like the drum room. They've got this massive API console. I was at the time I was there on one particular project. The engineer said that's the control room there. I've worked in this room a lot. He said that I had used more of that. I used more channels on the API than anybody had ever used. I used almost every single channel on the board plus some APIs. Long story, but anyway, I was working in this control room. Everybody else had gone out to get something to eat. And in the room, in the Studio C with all the weird design and all that, it wasn't Lady Gaga. It was some pop star. I can't remember her name. And she was over there working with somebody, and I'd step outside and I'd kind of see her in there. And she was working with Wayne Coyne from that weird band.
That's so helpful.
Wayne Coyne. Anyway, I never saw him. So, and I forgot what he looked like. And so I was here in Studio D. I was working on a mix. Everybody gone out to lunch. And at some point, this guy comes walking in and he says, "Hey, sorry to," and Flaming Lips. Yeah. So the guy comes walking in and he's like, "Oh, hey man, sorry to bother you. Can I see you got a bunch of snare drums." The owner said, John McBride said that you're probably not using all of them. Can I borrow a snare drum? It's like, yeah, sure. Just any of those. Like we had like 20 snare drums. It's like, just grab one of those. And I'm thinking like, that guy looks familiar. And he goes and grabs the snare drum and walks out. And then later on the day, it hit me like, oh, that was Wayne Coyne. And he was working over with some big pop star whose name I can't remember. But that's Blackbird. Anyway, that's my story. Yeah, that is George Massenberg's room. And it's amazing. It's just kind of like, what are you going to do with that? It's like, I know people mix over there, but it's like, you'd actually have to like leave this expensive control room to your car to see if the mix is any good. Like nobody's ever going to hear your mix in this room, like in a room like this, That's my opinion.
Dubtown Rob says, I've been having a hard time mixing the distorted low that the rappers are doing right now. Any advice?
You mean like the distortion on the 808? That is a trick. Like, what are you struggling with on that? And I don't know if you saw earlier when I was showing this, and I'll show it again just in case you weren't here. I was talking. Let me get rid of this. Hold on. People. I did a lot of rap music and I did a lot of big records, and everybody liked my low end, and they're always like, "What do you do?" And like, I got to tell people like the number one thing I do for 808s and basses is I actually pull out low end. So, probably maybe it's distorting the speakers or it's overdriving. If you and you got to know your speakers. I know that with my Haflers, and I've got these Event PS6s at my other studio, and I know like they're going to distort at a certain point. Usually on 808s and all that, there's an area around 50 hertz. It could go 51 hertz, 50 hertz, 49 hertz. On this one here, this sound, this 808 kick dang, that's going to blow up some speakers. So I'm actually ducking out 47 hertz. And I've got a little bit of this dynamic EQ, so it's like pushing it down a little bit more. But I've found that on usually most 808s, there's going to be this area that's just going to rumble. It's just going to be too much. If you can find that frequency, and usually I do that by turning up a narrow bandwidth and sweeping it around until I like really kind of hear this distortion on my speakers, and then I lower that frequency a couple dBs with a mid to somewhat narrow bandwidth, and it allows me to turn up my 808. So people are like, oh, how'd you get your 808 so loud? It's because I turned down the problem frequencies. And that's a big thing with low end. If you get rid of the crappy frequencies, you can turn that up. And then people are like, oh my God, it's so huge. It's like, well, I got it huge by turning down frequencies. So that's the quick answer for it. The other thing is, when you're mixing low end, you need to try it on a bunch of different speakers. I got a subwoofer here. What I did for years is I had like a stereo system. I just went and bought it like Best Buy or something like that, right?
A little boom box.
Well, that was actually not a boom box, but it was kind of like that. You know, it's got the middle thing, it's got these speakers, and it's got these fancy lights on it. And I mixed a lot of stuff using that, and I really studied it. It got to the point where there was like a little, venting hole on the back that I could tell by putting my hand over that hole in the back, like how much air I should feel it. I experimented with so long. And so I would like mix on the big speakers, my Yamaha NS10Ms and some other speakers, and then the stereo system. And here's the other thing. The stereo system actually sat behind me. This is another trick. I've often mixed songs with the speakers behind me and then switching back and forth. I know it sounds kind of wacky, but I think the big thing with low end is you got to try it on a bunch of different speakers and then go do your car test. Cool, man. Oh, and Dubtown Rob, Dubtown Rob. I'll be doing more of this, and I am eventually going to work on some courses about this stuff. So there'll be more of this.
He also asked if mixing in a 2-track is the same approach.
What now? Mixing?
What about mixing in a 2-track?
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, dude, if you're working on rap music, you're probably getting like just 2-track instrumentals, right? Oh my God. Hold on a sec. I want to go back and answer something. What unit is behind me with the flashing lights? Glad you asked. Well, hold on.
Of course, you don't have your iPhone cam.
Oh, did the iPhone? Oh, is it working yet?
I don't know.
Oh, I got to do this. Hold on. I want to show you this because this is actually something I meant to. I had an whole other stream I was trying to do on Instagram, and I'm going to get back to the 2-track thing in a second here.
Dubtown Rob says, yes, indeed, he is getting 2 tracks.
Yeah, hold on. I got to talk about that. That's kind of a...
Sleepyhead says usually if he wants to get a distorted 808 and not have it peaking, but sound like it's peaking, he uses a hard as fuck limiter. Is that a sin?
No, man. There ain't nothing. There ain't no sins, buddy. Hold on. Why am I not... Man, I had all this set up. Hold on. I want to show this. I'm so excited about this. And I swear I'm cursed because every time I try to talk about this thing, like the stream crashed. I'm not... All right, the hell with it. Why is this not working? Oh, wait. Do I have... Connected device. Oh, I'm an idiot here. I don't know what's going on here, man.
It doesn't think it's connected.
I know. My computer hates me. Not connected. I know. All right. So what it is, studio dude, I'll just grab it. Hold on. Let me get to a different shot here. Let's do...
Would your room shot help?
I think... Oh, yeah.
Oh, that thing.
So I would use this little roaming camera, but I stepped on the cable and unplugged it. And now it's not coming back on. That's a TR8, Roland TR8. It's a kind of a remake of the classic TR-808. And I just started messing around with it. It actually belongs to Jim from the Tokyo Teens. And I've for a year, I've had this plan like, I'm going to like remake some classic 808 beats with that thing and kind of see if I can match up the sound. And then I'll put my own thing on top of it, like playing mandolin or something like that. And I'll do these videos. And then I started to do a stream the other day on Instagram asking people what songs should I cover. So if anybody's got any suggestions on songs that I could like classic 808 beats that I could recreate and then but redo the song in my funky style with a mandolin and my high voice, let me know. But that's what that is. I'm gonna eventually get around. It's actually pretty cool, man. I was messing around, and it's got some. It'll allow you to tune the 808 lower than the original one will. I will tell you that. I was messing around with the Kiss. It's like whoa. So yeah. It's got it's got like the step sequencer in it, just like the old 808, where it's all just these. But you got like 16 buttons, and so It's cool though. It's pretty cool. It sounds pretty good. Okay, so yes, limiters are fine. Okay, so 2 tracks. Whew. So here's what you're going to need to do on a 2-track. You're only going to be able to EQ that 2-track too much. What I've done on 2 tracks, and actually there was a song by David Banner called Like a Pimp that I mixed. It was like his first big single. That was a 2-track. A lot of people don't realize it. Let's say I want to like get some thump, just that thump on the kick drum, right? I'll make a copy of the 2-track and EQ the hell out of the second one and blend it with the first one, right? That's one trick. There's other kind of weird tricks like by doing 2 tracks of the 2-track and doing weird things with the EQ and blending them. You can achieve all sorts of things. Another thing I do on 2 tracks is like, let's say they had like a snare drum or a hand clap and I wanted reverb on it, but it wasn't in the 2-track. I'd make a copy of it. I would find a nice clean snare drum and just cut it out and then copy and paste that same snare drum anywhere that it was on the 2-track and then put reverb on it, but totally wet, right? And then just barely blend that in. And it's like, boom, I got reverb on the snare drum. And then like, what are the other tricks I did? But a lot of it has to do with like doubling up the track. Or I've done things where I'm like, I make a second track and I compress the hell out of it, like really fast attack and really fast release, like maybe a millisecond or less of attack. And then the release is anywhere from like 5-6 milliseconds to 12-15 milliseconds, something like that. And blending that in, man, that's really cool. And yes, probably the Pro Q3 dynamic. You know, Studio Dude, I was kind of wondering, do you ever do, I'm always doing like with a dynamic EQ, like where it's pulling out, but do you ever do it where it's pushing a frequency up? I guess I could have tried that on the bass earlier. I didn't think about it because you can go in the opposite direction. You can actually have like a frequency here. Let me go to my mixer. Yeah. So here's a Pro Q3. So I was using it like this on my kick drum. Oh, here. Oh, let me turn off these vocals so we can concentrate on the instruments. So, you know, this is a typical thing I use Pro Q3 for. But, you know, you can always make it dynamic and go the opposite direction so it boosts frequencies when it hits 2. I never really thought about that. I guess you could do that on a 2-track. Like, I don't know. Oh, wait, hold on. What am I doing? Woo! Oh, shit. Oh, listen to that. Am I distorting anything yet? Oh, that's cool. Yeah, here it is without it. I mean, that's a little extreme, but yeah, I never thought about that. Oh, man, I should experiment with this. Check this out. Okay, I'm gonna do like the opposite. Woo! 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 Yeah, the kids are upstairs going like, what's going on down there? How does the low end sound upstairs? Did you hear it last night?
Are you kidding me? Yes, I felt it last night. I felt it.
Hey, Studio Dude, do you ever use this mode here? Where is it? There's this other thing here like this, like in Pro Q3. I guess I get late. The funny thing is like, oh, you're such a great engineer. I'm like, oh, I'm lazy as hell. If there's too many things to click on, I don't want to mess with it. But do you ever use this thing over here? Like, what is this? There's a knob here. And you can click this thing here. I don't know. I'm just screwing it all up now. But yeah, dude, try that. Dubtown Rob. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Sleepyhead. He's like, oh, do that now. I'm like, no, that's too much. But it's fucking, dude, it's amazing. Like this plugin here is actually changed things for me more than almost anything I've ever, you know, I hate to be all nerdy about it, but my God, you know, it's like just changed everything for me. What else about low end? He was talking about, oh, I'll show you another little trick. Okay. Cause I was talking about this earlier.
Yeah. Dubtown Rob was talking about how there's hardly anything on YouTube to help with mixing 2 tracks.
Yeah. I should probably make a video about that. I mean, actually doing the tech, like sitting here talking about it is fun, but actually making videos about the technical stuff is really boring for me. And it's also really hard because I don't want to do a shitty video, excuse my language, but I want to explain it the right way. But to do it is just a lot of freaking work. And the other thing is that because I never went to school, it's kind of hard for me to even explain how I'm doing this. But Dubtown Rob, check this out. I was talking about using distortion on 808s and drums. One of the things I used to do was this. Let me go to, oh yeah, we're in the right mode. So I'm going to add a compressor. I'll just do it I'm going to start off just doing it with the basic, I think I can do it with the basic Ableton compressor. So I'm going to have to zoom in a little bit here. So let's say you got an 808. Now the intro, well, this is kind of like a combination 808. Actually, let me do it up here. Let me do it on this guy instead. Let me put it on this track. Okay. So you can get distortion with other things besides distortion units. So you can do this. You can go, I mean, this one's already distorted. I'll take the distortion off. I actually got some distortion on the compressor. So you can go, hold on, let me loop this thing. Oh my God, I'm going slow. This is actually not a great thing to show because it's already distorted as hell. Hold on. Maybe I should have done it on the other one. Hold on. I'm being a dummy head here. You'll get the idea. Okay. So, if you do a really fast attack and release, okay, so let me go here. I'm gonna do like super fast attack, ratio up. Where's my? Oh, this is everything looks different on here. Hold on. Oh, I need to be here. So I go. I've never tried it here, but let me use this other compressor. Hold on, I got a better one. Never tried it with that one before. Let me grab this guy, the Manic compressor, which I really like. I'll put it here. Okay, so if you do a really fast attack and release. This is one of my favorite ways to get distortion on an 808 or something like that. Like the amount of compression I'm hitting, like I don't know, like about 12 dB of compression, but you do that release, and you can control the amount of control the amount of distortion by how fast your release and your attack is. So if I just barely move the release back, but same thing with the attack. This is not the best example here, but you can see what I'm talking about. And just barely doing this, it'll do some neat things. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily use it on this 808 because it's already got some distortion. But here it is without it. And then with it. I mean, that's an extreme version. I don't know, but the whole key is you got to be able to do like a super fast attack and release. Let me try it. I wonder if I can do it with the CLA plugin. I doubt it. I doubt it'll do it. Let's try this. Let's do the all-in button. Fast attack, fast release. Let's go to the Bluey. Yeah, it's kind of doing it some there, but it's probably not fast enough because this is emulating an older compressor. But man, I mean that's just one of my little secret tricks to use compression to get distortion. You like that, sleepyhead? Lots of low end and distortion. Any of that is good. Oh, I wasn't really looking at the Twitch stream so much.
Oh, it's been pretty quiet over at
Okay,
Twitch.
yeah.
Studio Dude says working on a 2-track is pretty close to mastering, eh?
I mean, not for mixing, because mastering, like for mixing with 2 tracks and blending them together, it's kind of like, I'll do all sorts of crazy things. I'm just trying to, because it's like, it's all I got, Although I did a whole album. It was that kind of a country rock album. And actually how I figured out a bunch of these techniques, it was actually for Average Joe's, which has Colt Ford and some other people like that. And I know the owner, Shannon, from a long time. So they sent me a whole album. It was like country rock, and it was all 2-track. So I had to just pull some stuff out of my you-know-what. But that's how it came up with a lot of these techniques, just combining tracks and EQing them and doing wacky stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, it's frustrating that all you get is a 2-track, and I bet some of them are MP3s too, right? So it's like, I mean, it's the way the world is nowadays. But try some of this stuff. Don't be afraid to do some wacky stuff. If you do some wacky stuff, and don't think conventionally, especially when it comes to the 2-track. Just you can always delete it, but it's kind of one of those things where you're mixing to solve a problem or reinvent the sound. It's not like you got the tools that you needed, so they're giving you something wacky, so you should do something wacky. Oh my God, it's from YouTube? Oh my God. Dude, you got to work up your client base, man. Higher level client base. I know, I was there, but it's just frustrating, I mean, but here's the thing, and Dubtown, I want you to think about this. I spent years recording without hardly any gear and bands with low budgets, and I didn't own much gear, so I had to figure things out, how can I possibly make this sound better? And I'm like, oh my God, I just wish I had bigger budgets to work in better studios. And then when I started getting a lot of mixing work, a lot of it was independent before I started doing major label work. And I was like, oh, this sounds terrible. And this is what's crazy, I started doing major label work. And labels would send me stuff. I mean, mostly I was mixing stuff I'd either recorded or produced, or friends of mine here in town, but I would get stuff. And it was appalling how badly engineered stuff I was getting from major studios was. The terrible sounding vocals and guitars and I couldn't figure out why. And then it hit me. Oh, and then I noticed actually the stuff from home studios that I'm mixing typically sounds better, right? It hit me. The guys in home studios, they're either struggling to make it sound better, so they've developed some cool techniques, or they don't know what they're doing, so they play it safe. Well, I don't know how to do it, so I was just careful not to put the mic too close and not turn it. I just pointed it at the sound and didn't turn it up too loud. And that's all you need to do, right? Whereas the guys in studios, a lot of these guys working in nice studios, they went to Full Sail or whatever. They got a job in a big studio, and they've never worked with crappy gear. They've never had these challenges. They're always in a good room with good mics and good mic pre's, and they just set it up, and it's all right. But obviously, a lot of times they're actually doing it wrong, or they're doing a bad job of it. So they're not really challenged. Or if they come across something they don't understand, they don't know how to solve the problem because they've not had many problems. So I don't know. That's my theory, so much of the stuff from major studios sounded terrible. I just think the guys just haven't worked with enough low budget, cheap, bad sounding stuff to figure out how to work their way through it.
See, and now we're back to your whole idea of a series of making videos with the worst possible gear.
Oh yeah. So one of my themes, and eventually I'm going to get it together, is I want to do a video, a series of videos where I record a song with other musicians, and I just use the cheapest mics, because I've been collecting these old mics, old stereo mics my dad had to record on his his home stereo and stuff.
We go thrifting.
Yeah, I like to go thrifting. I like cheap mics. I'm getting a collection of cheap mics. So my idea is that I would record songs only using the cheapest mics and really crappy gear, like broken bass guitars or a kid's drum kit, and maybe on the guitar amp I would take a razor blade and put slits in the speakers, which actually, I think Ray Davies from the Kinks and Jimmy Page used to do stuff like that, and record everything. And then just use my built-in mic pre's on my Apollo or something like that, right? Not using any of the fancy gear. And I'll tell you, I'm probably going to come up with something cool, because I like the idea of, when you're working on music, having a limited sound palette. So you limit yourself to these things, and can you figure out how to put them together in such a way that it's still cool? Maybe I have the singer, instead of singing in the vocal booth, maybe I put him in a bathroom or in my garage and I got him singing through a tin can or something like that. So eventually this is going to happen.
So speaking of sample libraries.
Yeah, so Jenna, yes, I've got some sample libraries on my Patreon. If you join my Patreon, you can download them. I've got some 808 things. I've actually got some sound samples, a small sound library from some stuff I'd done where I actually recorded in my garage just for the hell of it. And I like the sounds, and there was like some cool sounds, so I got some of that. So there's a few sound libraries up on my Patreon. If you join, you can download them. But there's a lot more I want to make. I'm still trying to catch up on work and being down for technical reasons the last few months.
Don't you also on Patreon have something about doing some basic information about making a studio room?
Oh, actually, I do. Who was that? Was that John?
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Actually, so I'll give a quick flash of it here. Hold on. I forgot about this. I should be trying to sell more things. I keep forgetting that part of the purpose of this whole thing is to, like, I guess, make money and stuff.
One would hope.
Yeah. Well, thanks. Oh, Patreon stuff. Okay, so. Oh, yeah. So I've got this whole thing called Home Recording Basics. So I've got, like, this is on my Patreon. Hold on. I'm going to open them up here. Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, Part 4, Part 5. Here's one example of the things that's up on my Patreon. So I've got stuff like this. I mean, it's kind of basic, but it shows, it's showing you, like, things like, oh, yeah, I talk about the golden ratio here. So it gives an example of the widths and all that. I talk about setting up your speakers and stuff like that. Then I've got, this is very basic, but it's huge. And talk about the listening position here. I made a spreadsheet. This spreadsheet was to explain something that I did, a very basic way for you to test your room. And I just did it using a signal generator. And then I went to Radio Shack and just got, like, or you can buy this anywhere, just a sound level meter. And I just walked around the room and tried different positions. I put it on the spreadsheet, and it kind of helped me learn my room and where I should sit. It's just a very basic explanation of how I did that. Here's the thing about room treatment and how I made my panels. Kind of explains that whole process. And come on, computer. It's not going to the next page now. What are you doing? Yeah. So here's a little explanation about how I made my sound panels. And, of course, it would pick right now to, like, start freaking out. Oh, yeah, here's another explanation about, like, how you sit in your room, how you angle your mixer, some stuff like that. I've got recording environment, kind of talk about that a little bit. This is all up on my Patreon. This is some basic stuff about cables. A lot of people don't understand the difference between balanced and unbalanced cables. So I got all that. Then I've got, what else do I have on my Patreon? I've got a whole explanation of microphones, different types of microphones, like, ribbons and dynamics and stuff like that. Oh, and here's another one. This is an important one here. Preparing your music for a mixer. This explains some of the basic things that you should do to get your stuff to a mixer so that he doesn't spend all his time fixing stuff and he spends his time actually mixing. And then I've got, I've got some sound light. I've got, as you can see, I've got a snare. I kind of got some snare samples I recorded, some side sticks. Here's just some, like, wind sounds. It's not huge yet, but it's getting there. This is a bunch of 808. So I've got a bunch of 808 samples in here. I've got these. Oh no, I gotta find these. They're up on the site. They're not on the computer here. I've got these samples of these cool hand claps, and those are up there. And I'm gonna get more up there. But that's one of the things. Some of the things are up on my Patreon.
Now, we do have some questions here going back. There's been some...
Oh, what?
Like, Studio Dude made a comment about how hard it must be to mix on 2 tracks. Also, Dubtown Rob is bringing up again doing critiques on other people's mixes and how much that would be something.
Yeah, that might be something. Yeah, I should probably do that. I think the thing with the mix critiques I could never figure out is the process of getting the mixes to me. I think I could maybe do that through Discord or something like that, or maybe a Google folder or something, and then kind of curating them, I think it's a great idea. Keep bugging me about it, though. I'll make it happen. Like just immediately right now, I got like 20 songs to mix, and actually, I'm supposed to be mixing Sleepyhead right now. Oh, we've been streaming for a while.
Couple hours.
Oh, a couple hours? I keep thinking it's 30 minutes, and I've been on here 2 hours.
By the way, Stephen and Jen are there. That was Jenna. That's Stephen and Jen.
Perez?
Yes.
Oh, hey, what's up? Oh, awesome. Yeah, please hit me up. Keep bugging me. Subscribe, follow, all that kind of stuff. I love the idea of talking about mixes and reviewing them. I just want to make sure that I set up the process right, you know? So I'm getting there. Last year was not the year of making videos or streaming, but I'm back now and I'm doing it again. But I do think, now I'm looking at the clock and my stomach's rumbling, I feel like I should probably go ahead and get some food and actually get back to this mix because Sleepyheads probably want me to finish the dang mix. And I know Ronnie wants it, and I got to get it out. And I think there's going to be, hopefully there's going to be a lot of attention about X-Blend.
X-Blend.
I'm very happy about this project. But man, I really appreciate everybody being here. This has been really awesome. I wasn't even sure I was going to be able to stream today because I was having these technical problems, but this has been really awesome. So, oh yeah, I do have the Oak Sound. Yeah, I got the Oak Sound plugin. That's awesome. But thanks everybody so much. I've got to go eat, and then I got to get back to mixing, or else my clients are going to fire me. So, yeah, I saw you weren't working on the mix. You were streaming and talking about stuff. So I was like, oh, well, I was mixing when I was streaming, right? Actually, I have a double. He does the streams. I do the mixing. But anyway, thanks everybody so much. John, appreciate it. Damage kisses. Everybody, thanks so much. I'll see you again soon. See ya.